I'm going to explain why you want AI to take your job. Hi, I'm Catherine Campbell, founder of Leopard Job. Find your spot in the new world. This is a conversation I started because inevitably we are in a massive revolution of work. And we know that AI is going to exponentially start to take over jobs faster than we've ever seen a change in the way we work. And so a lot of you are thinking, I don't want it to take over my job. Is it going to? I'm scared of that. Really? Are you scared that maybe you might will wake up one day and not have to do your job? Probably for a lot of you, that's not the case. You would like to not have to do your job, but we are certainly concerned about our paychecks, right? We don't so much want that. So we're going to talk about the evolution, what jobs AI will take over. So please subscribe and like this so we can pass the word and start to look at how we plan that evolution. I'm going to share an article with you right now that's based out of the BBC. And I really encourage you to look at global news on this particular topic if you're not already, because this is a global revolution that's going on. It's not just affecting us here in the States. So here we say artificial intelligence could replace the equivalent of 300 million full-time jobs. A report that is by the investment bank Goldman Sachs, right? So it could replace a quarter of work task. So think about that. It's the task that it's replacing in the US and Europe, but may also mean new jobs and a productivity boom. The new jobs we're going to be talking a lot about here. So stay tuned for that. Let's talk about the productivity issues. We likely can all agree that in the last few years, we have a significant decrease in productivity. Even just as consumers, we can go out there and really feel that. Some of the challenges around that, though, is that with the remote workforce and hybrid workforce, that's sort of what it's getting blamed on. But we know that there's a way to right this wrong. We haven't really come to an agreement yet. We still think that we're like in the middle of wondering if we're going back to the office or what's going on, but that certainly is likely not the case. So if you think of the concerns of the executives who are thinking to themselves, well, are they really just doing laundry all day? Are they picking up their kids and going to coffee, for hours? I cannot tell what's going on. I can't get a hold of my productivity level. And that's fair because they came up in a world, we came up in a world where, if we saw you, we could control that productivity. Now, the average employee is saying, I'm a grown adult. If you ask me to do something, I'm going to do it. And this is where the conversation needs to change. We need to stop equating time to productivity. That's part of the evolution. Certainly productivity in office or time in office is not as significant or important of what we call a KPI, a key performance indicator, as it used to be. Lots of us know, I don't care what role you have in your company, that there was plenty of talk around the coffee pot every day for 20 minutes, right, about the LSU game or any football games. I'm from Louisiana, so that's big talk around a coffee pot. That's not necessarily 8 hours of productivity, even though we were in the office. So the conversation about what is productive definitely needs to be changed. Let's look down here at these employment prospects. So the report notes that AI's impact will vary across different sectors. So here's how you can sort of, guesstimate the timing of it affecting your role. 40% of tasks is in administrative, 44% in legal professions could be automated, but only 6% in construction and 4% in maintenance. Okay, so AI is not cleaning the toilets anytime soon, right? We definitely still have a need for lots and lots of human work. But this is the first time that we're looking at, technology taking over the white collar jobs. For so long, technology was taking over blue collar jobs. And in the 1970s, when America decided that the future of work would be strategic, that America's job would be strategic, we started outsourcing all of the lower level capabilities, overseas. So we did all of that offshoring, and now we're looking at potentially onshoring because we still have productivity issues based on the fact that this is a global issue. So let's look at these lower wages down here. Consider the introduction of GPS technology in platforms like Uber. Suddenly, knowing all the streets in London had much less value, and so incumbent drivers experienced large wage cuts, okay? We know what has happened with the cab industry, no doubt about it. So think of the fact that combined technology, GPS and Uber, significantly changed an entire massive global industry. The cabbies, right? They had to evolve. And this is why I say, tell the candle makers electricity is coming. because we used to use candles just to light the room. And today we know that, we've completely remarketed the candle to have it be romanticized and smell good. So it's still about a $3.5 billion industry today in the States, but it does not serve the same purpose of which it started. And that's what we have to remember. There is always an evolution. We just happen to be the people that are in this evolution. And no one's going to figure out what this looks like for you or how to make it work for you other than you. So don't be scared of the conversation. Get into the conversation. If you think of roles like combined technology like AI and Canva, well, if you're a creative designer, that could very well take a lot of your role away. And in fact, some of the monotony of just producing social media images over and over, right? That's the stuff you want AI to take away. But when it comes to a brand, unique ideas, trying to get a very clear point across with creative, likely that's where we will keep the need for people. So to wrap up this conversation on this article, look at this pinch of salt area here. So it says, where was it? According to research cited by the report, 60% of workers are in occupations that did not exist in 1940. Okay. So most of us are working in ways, we all know this, that wasn't that way 80 years ago. So if you look at the evolution of technology, we kind of continually evolve. Again, though, AI is really making this much more exponential than it's ever been. So here's what I want to talk to you about is the 3 ways that human beings think and how we work, and the 3 ways or the 3 phases rather of artificial intelligence. People think there's just this, blob of artificial intelligence out there. That's not at all the case. So the 3 ways we think as human beings is convergent, divergent, and lateral. Okay, so convergent is just that absolute critical thinking. Are you a good test taker? Can you memorize information and put it out on paper? Divergent starts to be all of the creative side of us. How can we think creatively, problem solve, reason, right? That's something that is very human. And then lateral is, the combination of both. And that's why we are, the intelligent beings that we are, that we can actually use logic and get creative to solve and create lots of solutions on the planet. That's what we've been doing. So here's what I want you to do is to start to think about an exercise. And I want you to go through and list every single thing that your job, all of the tasks of your job. Okay, start thinking about that. I'm going to go through now those 3 phases of the artificial intelligence. The first phase is ANI, and that's where we are. Artificial narrow intelligence is what it's called, and that is basically just a single task-oriented capability. So when we think about, we've seen likely artificial intelligence play chess, and the computer, of course, always wins. That same technology cannot then teach itself how to play checkers, okay? So this generative AI, that is what we call it, where it can just produce content for us, that is ANI. The next phase of artificial intelligence is AGI, artificial general intelligence. And that is where it may be able to actually start to reason and problem solve. It may actually be able to walk in your house and make you a cup of coffee. It knows it needs the coffee grinds. It knows it needs water. So, Steve Wozniak said, when a computer can come in your house and make you a pot of coffee, we have reached AGI. So we're not very close to that, but that's certainly something they could be looking, in the near future for. And that scares a lot of people. Like if somebody could come in and take over my home role, well, what would you do if somebody could come in and do your laundry and book your travel and make your coffee? Wouldn't that be an amazing amount of time left in your day to be more human, right? ASI is artificial superintelligence, and that is the power that really supersedes certainly the brain of the human. And that's where people get very nervous about ethically where this is going. We're a long ways from that. We don't need to worry about that. This conversation is really just about your work. So if you paused and did the exercise, start to look at the list of things and tasks that you do for your job. That's going to start to help you understand how soon AI may take your job, how fast you may need to evolve. So go ahead and look at that list. And if there's anything there that a computer can do, scratch it out. Right? So let's say I've been in the mortgage business. If you're a mortgage loan officer and you do a really good job of putting together a client's file so you can put it through and it quickly goes through production because you've done such a good job of organizing all of the content that you're gathering from a borrower. The AI will do all of that, right? We will just be able to grab information from your accounts and everything very easily in the near future. So you can scratch that off. What are the things that you're doing that AI is not even close to being able to do? That's what you want left. Okay. So, again, subscribe to this, because this is an evolution. How fast it evolves for you depends on your role. But this is exactly why you want AI to take your job. Look at the things in your list that are that some kind of technology could ultimately do. Do you really want to be doing it? You are worth more than this. And here's what I can tell you: artificial intelligence is not close to being is human. It will never be human. You are more valuable than those tasks that technology can take. You have higher potential in that. And that's where we're headed. The more we let technology take over the mundane, day-to-day, repetitive tasks, the more we can bring back humanity, the more we have, more strategy in how we can evolve as a society. So it's really time to get excited about technology, start to figure out how it can take over your job, start to find new ways of making money. We're going to talk about side hustles and all the ways you can still generate income without being so concerned about your job. Thank you for listening to this conversation. I can't tell you how much that I think it's overdue and needed. I am so glad that you stayed this long. So let's continue that conversation to find your spot in the new world of work. We've got Paw Power here at Leopard Job. So join the Leap. The Leap is a group of leopards. Let's do this together. Take care.